What's up? It's your boy Israel, aka IZ316, and you're watching my YouTube channel. Welcome to my channel. My name is IZ316, or simply IZ. I'm a socially conscious hip-hop artist, community activist, radio and TV personality, and entrepreneur. I've produced and released several albums, as well as met some of my favorite artists. But this is my channel, and I want to be your favorite MC. Welcome back. It's your boy IZ, aka IZ316, and this is my channel. I want to share with you, the new fans, a little bit about myself, where I come from, where I get my name from, why I use the style of music that I do, who my favorite artists are. I won't inundate you with too much information, but I do want to help you understand why I do what I do. My name, IZ, it started off as Israel. It's the name a friend gave to me. Situation that he was going through with his lady. He came and talked to me. I didn't tell him what he wanted to hear, but I told him what he needed to hear. And he said, you know what? You are real. You know what? I'm going to call you Israel. And it kind of stuck. So for a long time, I went by just simply Israel, but as you can Google, you'll see that there's other artists out there with the name Israel. So I wanted to do something that would be like an ode to my city and separate myself. So I shortened it to Iz, which people just naturally start calling me, and added the 316. That made me easy to find on YouTube, and you know what I'm saying, it was respectful to my city. So shout out to my city, Wichita, Kansas. One thing I have people to know is about my city and why I love it so much. Got actually a lot of famous people from here that you may recognize: Barry Sanders, Maurice Evans, Adrian Griffin, the homie XV, world-class football players, Cameron Wembley, basketball players, actresses, Christy Alley from Cheers, which I love, from here, Don Johnson. You remember Don Johnson from Miami Vice? He went to Wichita South High. Google it. The Big Show from wrestling, he played at Wichita State. So I'm very proud of where I come from. But where I come from is a small city for the most part, with the 50th biggest city in the United States. And that shaped my mindset a lot when it comes to my music. So when you hear me talking about certain things, I really try to give you a picture of what it's like. I take, for example, Los Angeles, California. I spent time out in California, and their gangbanging culture is real. But they have neighborhoods where it's like, yo, it's just this one set. In Wichita, wasn't necessarily like that. You might have two cats from two different sets on one block, and that's a lot of what made it very dangerous at times because of that. So there was a lot of violence. I lost one of my first friends at the age of 14. By the time I was 20, I had lost 5 or 6 more, and this all shapes my music. So when I'm talking to you about my city, I'm talking to you about the love that I have for it, about how it shaped and molded me, and how it made me think on a higher level. I'm sure you feel the same way about your city. I first started doing music as a kid, actually. You know, in choir in the church choir. That was like my first experience, like with what you might consider live performance. And I say that the first rapper that really influenced me, which is funny because some might say he's the least conscious artist, is Will Smith. I remember seeing parents just don't understand that video. Man, he was, you know, driving in the car with his people, and he was fresh. He had the bright colors and whatever. And as a kid, that was like mesmerizing. I was like, yo, I like that. That's something I want to do. Also, like LL Cool J, I'm Bad. I was like, yo, this dude is walking with a Panther. He got a radio. You know what I'm saying? It was just like mind blowing. So it was kind of at an early age. I probably had to be in kindergarten at that time when I really first realized that, yo, this is something that I want to do. So as time progressed, I stuck with it. I started off freestyling. I wrote my first rhyme in, I think I was like 4th grade, and my mom found it and she bugged out on me. Was like, what are you talking about? You can't be talking about shooting people and killing people and whatever else. You in the 4th grade. But man, when you watching like Minister Society and Banging in Little Rock, and you listening to all these artists, you know what I mean? That's kind of what influenced you. So I did take in what she said, and I always wanted to make her proud. So I was like, well, how do I tell this story from a different point of view? And that's what I aim to do. I try to tell stories, realistic things that's going on in the hood, I try to tell them in a manner that's sharing both sides. We hear the D-Boy story, and yeah, I like some of the music, you know what I mean? But we also need to hear about the other side of things too. And that's why I chose to do conscious music. A little bit about me is what drives me so much is that I went through so much turmoil as a young kid. By the time I was a sophomore, I had 2 children already. I did some time in juvenile, and those things helped shape my mind. When I was locked up for those 2 years for my junior and senior year, it really gave me some time and insight to think. And I feel like the universe starts showing me a whole different path in life. And it was almost as scary when you suddenly have all these options in life when you don't have any. So that affects a lot of my music. The neighborhood I grew up in was a lot of gang banging, a lot of violence. I was never in danger, you know what I mean? But it's just one of those things, you know what I mean, where we live in this neighborhood, it's the 90s, people banging, you're kind of guilty by association. I did my best to kind of steer away from that, and that's where music came in. It kept me occupied while other people were doing other things. I would like sit on the porch and really just, you know, write and really talk about what it is, how I see the world. And I heard artists like Tupac, artists like Nas, and I was like, yo, yeah, this is definitely what I want to do. I started buying studio time and really trying to hone my skills, and it took a while, but, you know, I made it. So I've dropped 3 albums. The first one was a group album with my partners, TP and Beat Smith. Shout out to them, that was Hip Hop for Dummies. I dropped my first solo album called Shine, Surpassing Expectations and Negativity. That's SEAN. Had the homie Glasses Malone on there. He featured on there. Dope album. I was blessed to meet him. He's one of the people who I've formed somewhat of a relationship with and have been able to ask questions that's helped me along the way in my career to get here today. Let's see. Then my next album was it's still free. You can find it online. It's Who's Afraid of the Dark. And when I say Who's Afraid of the Dark, I'm talking about Who's Afraid of the Dark as in skin color. This was right around the time that Trayvon Martin had died. And I'm looking at this, and I'm looking at this image of his mother crying. And in my mind, I couldn't even fathom the pain that she felt, but I knew that I had to say something. I knew that I had to have a voice. And so I created that album, Who's Afraid of the Dark. It's very socially conscious. I did a Tupac tribute on there because that's my guy, you know what I mean? And I got great response, but I still had some growing to do. After that, I was able to meet a lot of people. The funny thing about Who's Afraid of the Dark is I went to New York, and we did a showcase, and the showcase happened to be for several record labels, Def Jam and some other people was there, and it was at Daddy's house, which is P. Diddy's studio. Well, there's people from all over the country at this event, and I had never been in New York before, so I was in awe of it, you know what I mean? Being a kid from the Midwest and listening to Wu-Tang and Nas and Jay-Z and Mobb Deep and all these guys. So when you get to New York, you understand why their music is the way it is, why they have that dirty, grungy type of hip-hop sound, because that's the environment that they're in. Long story anyway. So we go to the event. They picked the winners of the event. We weren't one of the winners of the event, but they still was like, yo, maybe we could do something in your town. I'm from Wichita, Kansas. They're like, yo, you from Kansas City? You from Kansas City? No, I'm not from Kansas City, but shout out to Kansas City. So I took the flyers for Who's Afraid of the Dark, and I put them everywhere. I stuck them under couches. I put them in bathroom sinks. I put them in cabinets. I put them in dresser drawers, under doors, any place that I could find to put one of those CDs, which I'll post up here. Man, I did it because I was that hungry. But that taught me a good lesson about following your path, your intuition, and then this is what I wanted to do. Here I am in the Mecca of New York with all these artists from all over the city, and I was one of the only ones that was prepared. I had t-shirts, I had email list, I had flyers, posters, cards, you know what I mean? And when I seen that, they let me know, you ready? So I hope you learned something about me today. I hope that I've sparked your interest in my music. I hope you go check me out. Please like and subscribe. Hit that bell. Hit that bell. Otherwise, you're going to miss out on great content like this. I got a new album coming soon, and I got t-shirts that I'm giving away. For anybody who signs up for the YouTube page, I'll be giving away randomly, so make sure you sign up so you can get one. Or you can go to the website, www.iz316.com, and purchase your own. Peace. Welcome to my channel. My name is IZ316, or simply IZ. I'm a socially conscious hip-hop artist, community activist, radio and TV personality, and entrepreneur. I've produced and released several albums, as well as met some of my favorite artists. But this is my channel, and I want to be your favorite MC.